I went with this picture of Phoebe tonight because this is how I feel talking about these two cases.
You feel like a fuzzy little kitty cat?
Look how she just looks like, fuck. That's how I feel like she has just had the worst day ever right there, which is funny for that cat because she does
have that kind of like, she's that vacant staring off into the distance look.
She's got like 1,000-yard stare going on. Like she has seen some shit. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. This is Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, Ranting Monkey. That's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
I feel like we've already picked up our infamous lag, which is wonderful. But anyway,
go ahead. I may have figured out part of the problem on that.
Yeah.
The battery on my laptop is dead. So it's actually running direct current from the power source. Gotcha. And it's intermittently, it seems to cut out. And I think that's causing part of the lag. I'm not sure. I thought I had a spare battery, but I can't find it. So I'm going to have to order one.
Gotcha.
So like, share, subscribe, you guys. I'm poor.
Yeah. And donate. We never say that. Donate. Give us money. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, Jack, tonight I want to talk about the Jason Arday and Lindsey Clancy issues. But before we get there, a couple of things to talk about first. Well, one, really, just because it makes me happy. And so few things in the news make me happy. But this one does. This is, what the fuck is his name again? Something Spears. He just successfully sued the New York Times for $9 million.
I saw something about that. What they do? Call him something nasty?
Well, one of his teammates shot somebody. And the New York Times told the world that this guy was sitting in the passenger seat when it happened.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And he wasn't in the passenger seat. And it took the New York Times 5 months before they corrected their story.
And they buried that correction somewhere.
Yeah, the story goes live in January, and they wait until June to be like, our bad. And the best part about it, you know why they printed that? Because one person they won't name said, no, he was there. That's it. That was their evidence.
Staff reporters?
Probably made up out of whole cloth, man. They probably consulted a psychic. Oh, wait, I'm jumping ahead to the Lindsey Clancy shit.
Oh, I thought you were going to say this.
But no, I think it was $9.25 million. And the New York Times was like, well, we're going to appeal this because I can't believe that the jury would give him so much money based on an honest mistake. It took you 5 months to apologize for your honest mistake. Where you said this man was involved in a would-be, I don't know if the shooting actually led to a death. I don't remember. Does it tell us in this part of the story? Oh yeah, and it should be noted they didn't retract until after the suit happened. Then they were like, "Oh, my bad." Yeah, I forgot about that part of the story. But yeah, they said he was in the car. Yeah, it was a death. There was a death. So they accused him of being an accomplice to murder. And he was like, no, I'm not. And they're like, yes, duh. Fuck you. Until he actually sued them. And then they're like, but it was an honest mistake. This is reporting these days. Did they not learn their lessons from the Olympic bomber? What the hell was his name? You remember the one? Jewel.
Yeah, Richard Jewell.
Where they're like, this man, who by the way was trying to help people, is the bomber. They blasted him all over the place.
If it hadn't been for him, a lot more people would have died that day too.
Yep. And these miserable shits off of one dude, no proof whatsoever. Just this happened. Like, fuck you. And the fact they have the balls to be like, we're going to appeal this. The jury was wrong to say we were wrong. He wasn't a public figure. I mean, he's a college basketball player that literally nobody's heard of unless you follow that team, and you blasted him out there as an accomplice to murder, and you're like, but we retracted it when he sued us. Go fuck yourselves. You deserve way more. He deserves like $50 million for what you did to him. You fuck right off. And it makes me happy. Somebody did bring up in chat the other thing, but I did not bring it up on the screen. So we just have to talk about it in general. Eric Swalwell is continuing his string of wins. He got served search warrants and stopped at the airport to turn over his devices.
Yeah,
so his home got raided in was it his DC home or his California home, or what? Maybe it was both. I don't remember.
I think it was both.
But he flies from Washington DC, where even though he's not a congressman anymore, he still maintains a residence, and his family lives there. Tells you everything you really need to know about your California congressman, right? But he flies back to California after the initial search stuff is announced, and they stop him at the airport in California to get his phones and shit off of him. He's facing allegations of, well, an investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct. See, it's weird because the federal government isn't actually looking into him for the rape charges against him, because he has actually been accused of rape. I'm not saying he did it. He probably did. But he is allegedly a rapist, right?
Yeah.
And so they're not really investigating that because there's not federal rape charges out there. So instead, what they're looking
his commie ties.
They're looking at civil rights issues, violating somebody's civil rights by raping them. We'll see where it goes, but it is funny as fuck that little shit, his whole life is crashing down around him because he wouldn't keep his fucking mouth shut.
Well, he'll probably identify as Muslim so he could get away with the sexual assaults.
Oh, sure. Like, I identify as a non-rapist.
Yeah, it's part of our culture.
Yeah, so this guy had to be. I've known people like him my whole life, just shitty people who have to make more of themselves than they are.
Yeah, and
typically that's just some annoying guy you have to put up with at work. This dude's a congressman, and I'm beginning to believe in a kind of phrenology. That's the one with the head shape, right?
That's the bumps on the head. Physiognomy is the one with the full, like the look.
Well, see, that's what I'm. Okay, I didn't know there was a phrase for that. There is a look to certain people. Like there's a high school. Well, sorry, he was a junior high / high school principal who put out a tweet when Charlie Kirk died about how great it was. Or sorry, he didn't put out a tweet. He allegedly said how great it was. He just was sentenced to 5 years in prison for having child porn on his computer.
Oh, I'm so surprised.
And I probably could look it up and find his picture, but I don't want to. He's a fat little man, balding in the middle, and he's a ginger too, which doesn't make it any better. And the one picture that I've seen of him, he's in a pink shirt. And my first thought when I saw this, before I read the entire thing about what had happened, I'm like, I would never let my granddaughters near that. And by the way, the child porn he had included infants.
Oh, of course it did. Fucking scumbags, man.
But hey, Charlie Kirk was the bad one, right? Right, lefties? There's going to be a whole lot of me bashing on the left because much of this nonsense comes from them. This is a clearly pedophile little fat man who ingratiated himself and even went so far as to get a job to where he can perv on kids.
Yep.
And they're like, but he didn't like Charlie Kirk. He's one of the good ones. What? I'm sorry. Did you say infant child porn? How many times does it have to come up that these people are disgusting shitbags? When you look at these freaks and you can see them, they're like, That dude is a freak, like Dylan Mulvaney. You put that person, put him alone with a child long enough, and there's gonna be a charge.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Like, no, this clear deviant, there's nothing wrong with him. He's a hero. What? Well, he said he's a girl, so therefore he's a hero. And seriously, the right, just keep doing this. I mean, they're doing it with the WNBA thing. But anytime you get in trouble for anything, just claim you're trans so that they'll call you a hero for whatever bad thing you did.
Then they get really twisted up.
Dean Withers meltdown over allegations. I saw the allegations about Dean Withers. It looks like somebody's trying to fuck with him, and it all comes from him and is not. He's one of those people, you should believe victims. And it looks like somebody set up a fake account to accuse him of sexual misconduct. And he's very mad about it. How dare you? This account was a little girl.
No, MAGA owes him an apology, monkey.
It's funny to me how much attention he's been putting on where the pictures were taken from. He's like, these are pictures of a minor. Well, why don't you keep blasting them out there then, Dean? You fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he's not real smart.
Yeah, Dean is a jackass, and I don't like him, but false allegations are still false allegations, and if they are false against him, then it's fucked up. But hey, dude, live by the sword, die by the sword, right? You're the one who loves to go out there and say that Trump was accused, so therefore he's guilty, even though if you look at the charges, it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, they set the rules.
Go ahead and read the different tellings of the story that E. Jean Carroll has given over the years. Remember the chick who said rape is sexy?
Yeah.
But look at the way that the story's changed. At one point, she says she doesn't even know that he put his wiener. It could have been his wiener.
Now, what's more egregious? Her making that false allegation that's clearly an episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Yep.
Or the fact that she lied by saying that Anderson Cooper is interesting to talk to.
Well, her being insane, I feel like she was saying a true statement for herself in that, because she could probably have an interesting conversation with a doorknob. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's a little bit insane.
A little bit.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying, but from her perspective, definitely stealing it from SVU is way worse because she knows that's fake. The bitch literally stole. How many people have even heard of Bergdorf and whatever outside of New York?
I doubt very many people. It's a very New York thing.
But everybody's running around like they shop there instead of at Walmart.
They won't even let people like us in there. They'll look at us and be like, get away, pores, and probably get some fire hoses on us.
Yeah, but Donald was just so turned on by her, you know. And then they like, no, he said he didn't know her, but here's a picture of him in a line of people shaking hands, and she was there, and he knew her husband. This is Donald Trump. This isn't like you knowing the guy who works next to you and you guys talk shop all the time. This is Donald fucking Trump. He's met lots of people that he probably may have heard his wife's name once or twice, but doesn't know them or anything. But he said he never met her. Here's a picture. This isn't like the Prince Andrew thing. It's like he said he never met her, and he's got his arm around her, and he's sweat stains like, but I don't even sweat.
Yeah. Let's face it, Donald Trump has been a celebrity for 50 years at least. It's not like he's going to remember every single person.
And not just a celebrity. I mean, a massive celebrity who goes to all kinds of events. You know what I mean?
Think
like,
it's safe to use the phrase cultural icon at this point.
Sure.
I mean, he's got board games named after him before The Apprentice. So
greeting lines and photo ops. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Like, he's been such a big star for so long, not just because of the real estate stuff or his TV show or the presidency. It's a combination of all of that. And it goes way back. He was huge in the 80s.
Yeah,
Everybody wanted to be like Donald Trump because he was this massive real estate developer. And later on, he became this TV celebrity on The Apprentice. And then he became president. The guy has not been really out of the news in at least 40 years.
thanks, Monk. I just threw up a little bit in my mouth. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah. Oh, plus he's written like 2 books or had them ghostwritten, whatever his name's on them, and they were bestsellers.
You also have to remember that this is a woman who's claimed that she's been raped no less than 10 times throughout her life, which seems really bad. I mean, she's like raped 1.25 times each decade. She literally starting when she was a small child, when her little friend used to hide his toys up her hoo-ha. That's her claim. Her claim, not mine. This bitch is insane. And the fact that the jury didn't get told about things like the SVU episode or her past claims of this kind of stuff is why you see probably sexually assaulted her. But gotta believe her because she said it against somebody I don't like. Just from what I've seen of the Dean Withers thing, I don't think it's true. I haven't dug real deep into it. I have not been feeling well, you guys, so I have not done this is true. I logged onto the internet today. I was going to play a video game, and Satsu reached out to me, and it's a game we played together. And I'm like, bro, I'm probably just going to go to sleep. And I wasn't tired when it started. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go catch a quick nap. I woke up 9 hours later.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, I slept so good. I didn't mention this on stream, but I recently had to replace my mattress, which is why, even though I've just taken a few days off, why there's been more shows this month than last month. Frank got to make up some money.
Right.
But, I'm sleeping so good on this mattress. I wake up, my hips have not hurt in a week. It feels weird how little pain my lower body is in. Plus,
as someone once said, the hips don't lie.
When I sleep good. Like I just said, I passed out for 9 hours. So, yeah, it was nice. Anyway, let's get on to today's topic. There's 2 actually that I find them to be related. And they're related because it's all lefty nonsense excuse making. It's all lefty nonsense holding up the wrong people as heroes. Now, on your screen right now, and yes, this is a dead man, so I felt a little bad about doing this, but I did put this up because this college outfit is ridiculous looking, and it made me laugh because he looks like Ronald McDonald. He looks like a black woman in drag dressed as smart Ronald McDonald.
It looks like somebody put a bonnet on a old-timey fedora for like a zoot suit, and then he just threw on like the worst superhero cape he could find.
This photo is creepy as fuck. Yeah, I believe this is his Cambridge photo.
Yeah. I actually kind of feel bad for this guy.
I don't.
Not because of the death, but because I think he was suffering from severe imposter syndrome because, he was an imposter and he knew it.
See, I think that's part of my problem with all of this is that instead of just, hey, he's a shitbag who was conning people, it's now a syndrome.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what imposter syndrome is. It's feeling guilty because you don't think you earned it. But at the same time, if you feel that way, you probably didn't. Let's be honest.
The thing is, I do know imposter syndrome is a thing, but it's usually people who get there on their own merit. This guy is a con man. I don't think there's any psychosis here. I think this is just a guy who saw an opportunity to be a complete fucking liar. And that's what he did. And he got quite famous for it, especially for being a professor.
I got this cut. Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. What were you saying?
I've got a cousin who's like a pathological liar, like a clinically diagnosed pathological liar. And he's the type of person that this guy reminds me of. This guy once claimed that he fought off an entire gang with his skateboard. And I think I've told that story before, but the guy's a fucking idiot, right? But he would consistently fail upwards. And I think that's what happened here is this guy, somebody just believed everything he said or was like, we need more minorities. Let's tap that guy. And it's possible this guy just is a pathological liar and just like believed his own hype and people just kept elevating him because he would somehow fit something they needed. And it may not even have been that he was intentionally trying to get these positions. He was just lying so much. Everybody was like, yeah, I don't care if he's a liar. We need more diversity here.
Exactly, Faithless. He was fine until he got exposed. He was not wallowing in self-doubt. No, he was braggadocious. And okay, let's stop here and explain who this guy is to people who don't know. This is Jason Arday. He was the youngest black professor ever at Cambridge. And I mentioned black for a reason. It's not important to me, but it was at the time. And it goes to what Jack was kind of saying there just a second ago. He fit this profile they were looking for.
Yep.
We need, first of all, every time you guys put up a headline, the first black, blah, blah, blah. There was a time when that was like, hey, we finally broke through that racism. And that's not where we are anymore. Now you guys are saying it like, can you believe one of the Negroes did it? I can't believe they're capable of that.
Yeah, it falls back to that white man's burden. We got to lift up the minorities because we're superior.
This case is, there's a lot of people who are like, this is racist. And it is, but not in the way that they're saying it. It's from the way that the left loves to do racism these days. Like, black people can't do anything, but look, we found one token we can hang out there. Whoops. Sorry, Democrats, shouldn't mention your token in hanging.
Well, they're the ones that started that trend, so
they wanted somebody that they could go, look, a black guy did it. But there should, I wasn't going to talk about this because this was the story we were going to do on the next show, which would have been like 4 days ago at this point. And then I was like, it's been too long, but I maybe I'll bring it up just a little bit. But YouTube recommended to me Gutfeld's opening from tonight, and I watched it, and it was about him. Like, you know what? Fuck it. I am going to talk about this because it's important to talk about what actually happened here. So this is Jason Arday. He becomes the youngest black professor at Cambridge. He's exposed for being a complete fucking fraud. He gets put on academic probation or academic suspension. He's not even fired at this point. He's gonna be, and he knows it. But the Cambridge, who defended him for a while, which we will get to, they suspend him, and a couple of days later, he offs himself. And I'm supposed to think that's a bad thing.
But he made that choice. It's not like he got hit by a bus.
Yeah. It's a tragedy. Now, the tragedy here is that this guy was allowed to get away with this shit so long that when it became inevitable that people called him out for it, he saw no redemption arc for him. You know what? By the way, there's a perfect redemption arc for him that he could have gone with. He could have played into, I told them what they wanted to hear and they pumped me up because they're racist. He would have been a hero of the right if he'd just come out and been like, yeah, everything I just did, this is what's wrong with the left.
Well, because that's been my complaint about this whole thing is this guy has had the perfect redemption arc opportunities. There's been like 4 or 5 of them. He just had to wait it out.
Well, all he had to do was come out but see, the problem is he believes in the system that he was exploiting. So my favorite claim of his is that he was on a TV show called 7 Up. 7 Up is a BBC production where they started following kids at 7 years old.
Yeah.
And every 7 years after that, they would check in with them and see how things were going. And Jason here, he claimed to be part of that. The only problem is the show debuted 21 years before he was born.
Fact.
In fact, the third follow-up came the year before he was born.
Fact. Oh, real quick. Thank you, Okie Native. Hey, my family was famous. First black chieftain to sell slaves to the white man. First black man from the inner city to not prefer fat white chicks. Why aren't those headlines? Or is that not a good first? Well, they are firsts. So I think you should celebrate, especially the not preferring fat white chicks. That's always something to be celebrated. And as an APM myself, that's Asian pussy man. I do not prefer fat white chicks either. But thank you, Oki.
Why is he so shiny? I don't know.
It's the lighting.
There's lighting. Even if you're not shiny, you won't be shiny. I asked Lady Monkey about this once because we were watching some TV show and the girls were all shiny. I'm like, didn't they used to not like being shiny?
Yeah. You can see the reflection of the softbox in the center of his forehead there, and on his stage left cheek. But if right under his eyes, there's too much lighting on him. That's what that is.
If you're not greasy to begin with, it's not going to shine off like that. You'll just see the light. You can see it on non-shiny skin.
If you're sweating especially depending on what lighting they're using, it'll make you sweat. And if you're sweating even a little bit, it'll give you this reflection. I had the same problem in portrait photography class because it's all in the lighting setup, and whoever did theirs is garbage. That's neither here nor there.
You need to powder his nose. Yeah, there's ways to get that shine down if you're actually looking to. But this guy, he's just a sweaty guy. My problem with him is that he looks like a trans person, like he's trying to transition to a woman. He is wearing eyeliner, and he constantly is.
Yeah.
And it makes me annoyed every time I see it.
That was the other thing I was going to say is he might be wearing some makeup.
Yeah.
And that would reflect with certain lighting too. Because if you're using like natural lighting, there's different types of light bulbs you can get for your lighting setup. It would reflect off of certain types of makeup.
The other thing that drives me nuts about him is when you see pictures of him without his hat on and how he would wear his hair. One, he was starting to bald.
Yeah.
So his cornrows or what are those technically dreads? Whatever. Start like in the middle of his head, and then he would wear his hair up in the back. So he's got this huge mass of shit at the back of his head, so he looks like an alien. But that's all superficial. This motherfucker lied repeatedly. The first time he gets called out is was it back in 2020? I forget the exact timeline. Maybe it was 2019. But another professor from a different university is reading this guy's work. He's a scholar, you guys. We haven't even got to the nonsense about him being retarded as a child, but we'll get there in a second. But he's a scholar, y'all. He's the scholarliest scholar that ever scholared, and he's black. He's a black scholar who scholars. And this other professor's like, that's my work. So he wrote this guy, and he's like, you stole some of my work, bro. What's up? I'm paraphrasing. And Jason here, he was like, oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't even, no. Jason called the police and reported this guy for harassment. That is the original the original thing where somebody was like, hey, that guy's full of shit. It was a professor who this man stole from, who then called the police. Now, in that case, the police were like, yeah, there's nothing to do here. But the next time he got called out, you know what he did? Called the police again, and this time the police actually reached out to the guy. This was a reporter who found out about it, and he's like, hey, bro, the police told the reporter, yeah, leave him alone. And this just gets bigger and bigger and bigger to where people are like, hey, this guy is full of shit. And people are like, hey, when do we see plagiarism scandals blow up like this? Well, maybe when you have the press being suppressed about what this guy has done. all the talk about these people, we can't report on Trump, even though they're actually doing it. The people reporting on this guy actually had police come out and be like, hey, leave him alone. Stop it.
Well, it's the UK. He's a protected class. So they could actually go to jail for harassment, air quotes, little bunny ears you can't see. That's how deep this bullshit goes.
This guy claimed that he was nonverbal until he was 11.
Yeah.
Nonverbal autism until he was 11. And that he was not functionally, but literally illiterate. Because there's a difference between functionally illiterate and illiterate.
Yeah.
Could not read or write a single word until he was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And a mere decade and I think it's 12 years later, maybe 14 years later, he's a Cambridge professor.
Yep.
Now, maybe in Hollywood that story would work, but in the real world, nah.
Yeah, well, Monkey, I'm reading from the blurb on his book here. He embraced his neurodivergence and devoted himself to helping him realize a potential few others believe possible.
Yeah.
Using everything from the proverbs of his mom's West African culture to music, sports, and film to help him make sense of the world.
Faithless says, I still need to know which Hogwarts house he was in.
Hufflepuff.
He was in the Ebony house.
Slytherin.
See, that's what gets me about this is if this had been a white guy, most of this shit doesn't happen because when he's first caught, they're like, yeah, you get to go work at a community college now.
Oh, they'd have done what Oprah did to the Million Little Pieces guy and have him on TV to publicly humiliate him.
But since he was the youngest black professor, and please understand, youngest doesn't really matter in that sense, other than look first. The important part to the lefties is he's black. I don't give a shit that he's black. I care that he lied over and over and over and over and over, claiming. You mentioned your friend fighting off the people with the skateboard. This guy has two different stories of fights that never happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It sounds like his entire book is complete nonsense.
Yeah.
I kind of want to read it, but it's brand new, so I'm not paying retail price for it. I'm going to wait till it's like $3 at half price books.
I'm actually surprised the publisher hasn't pulled it yet.
I kind of am too, but at the same time, they want that money, and his death 3 days before it comes out is going to boost sales. So they're going to take that dollar either way. Plus, they probably paid him a lot of money up front. But like he claims he walked like 600 miles, and when you do the math, it came out to like just over 100 miles a day.
Well,
that's not possible.
He claimed he did 30 marathons in 35 days and raised $5 million for charity, which didn't happen. Although there is a source, somewhere out of the Middle East, I believe it was. There's like, no, we found proof. There's literally no proof of it.
The proof was on jasonarday.com.
Yeah. The guy was just a fucking liar. And because he was pumped up so much, because excuses were made for him instead of people going, well, yeah, that doesn't make sense. This is fucking Cambridge. At Cambridge, you guys couldn't figure out that this motherfucker stole half of his academic work. One of the things he did is he supposedly did studies, except for the studies that he did, he used other people's studies and pretended that he had done them himself.
Yeah.
That the people involved with the studies were, in his study, and he never did a study. Now, in the academic world, you can look at other people's studies and do a study based on that, but you point that out. In this case, he just tried to claim it as his own. And not a single fucking asshole at Cambridge, not one goddamn academic there decided to look at the evidence and question whether this fucker was telling the truth.
You want to question this beautiful chocolate man? You fucking monster. How dare you? You're going to lose your job.
The real racism here is that he wasn't treated like they would treat a white man. A white man would have been out on his ass long ago, long enough ago that he could have saved his academic career. And like I said, end up at some community college teaching.
Yeah, he could have had a redemption arc. You write a book about your how you came to realize how wrong you were, and all this was really a great learning experience, and you're a better person for it, blah, blah, blah. He could have at least done what George Santos did and start like a podcast or something.
Yeah, lean into the joke about it. Like, you fuckers fell for it.
Yeah, you could have called it Lying with Jason Arday and to like do the entire podcast laying down.
This is why I say that I don't have any sympathy for him, because he was a con man and there was he believes in the same stuff and he saw how he could use it. This isn't like Hotep Jesus where he walks into a Starbucks and like, I'm black, give me a coffee. Yeah. He knew it would work, but he didn't actually believe in that nonsense. And he was exposing the nonsense in doing so. In this case, this guy actually believes in the magical Negro myth. And he exploited the people who, made that a myth. And is it sad that he died? I suppose so. I didn't know it. But the whole thing, like they drove into it. No, they didn't. He did.
Yeah, he could have easily come up with half a dozen ways to redemption in the eyes of the public and made some cash on it on the side. He still would have sold books. So he would have had money coming in there. He just let the media get to him and he pussed out. That's a bitch made move, dude. Yeah, you're going to hurt in the short term, but you got to look at the long game. That's why he's a bad con man. I think he's just a liar. I think he's just a pathological liar and he couldn't handle the criticism.
Dangerous says, blame it on the rain, Monk. Yes, blame it on the rain. That's a Milli Vanilli joke.
He does look like a reject from Milli Vanilli. He's the gayest Milli Vanilli member. You call him a pathological liar. My problem with that, and I understand that pathological lying is a real thing, is that psychology is used to excuse everything these days. And I'm not saying you're excusing him, but if he is a pathological liar, then he couldn't help himself. He had to. That's what pathological lying is. It is a compulsion to lie. I don't think this guy had a compulsion to lie. Well, I think he got off on lying. I think it wasn't just a compulsion. It was like a sexual thing for him. Like he got off on it because his lies are so ridiculous and out there. Like they're God.
I think he was just exploiting people because he could tell whatever fantastic story and they would believe him and get him. If you want to say he's a narcissist, I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I don't think that his lies were compulsory. I don't think he had to do it.
I was using it in the colloquial sense as opposed to the psychological definition of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with you. I think he probably was a narcissist. And look, the guy's a piece of shit. I feel bad that he missed his opportunity at a redemption arc, though, because everybody loves a redemption arc. People want to believe that you're a better person now. Even if you're still a degenerate scumbag. Look at Charlie Sheen.
But his entire brand was built up on all of these lies. So, and I hear what you're saying. He could have had a wonderful redemption arc. But when he's looking at it and he's realizing Cambridge is gone, at that point, everything is going to be lost that he built. And since he had nothing else, I mean, there's no woman in his life. There's no kids. There's no hobbies other than, getting on TV for being black. There was nothing left in his life.
Yeah. See, again, there's a path there. He could have been like, okay, they're going to fire me. I got to take all the money I could get from this book sales and maybe go to Kenya because that's where his mom's from. And do a video travelogue series where he finds himself and comes to terms with what a bad thing he did. See, there's outs here that he just isn't utilizing. You got to think. I mean, a good con man can adjust the con on the fly if he has to. You don't want to have to do that, but you have to be able to do that.
typically a con man doesn't make it to the heights that this guy did.
That's true.
This is a level of con that is almost unheard of. There's very few people that take a con this far. Maybe a Sam Bankman-Fried, maybe a George Santos. But I guess Fried would probably be the closest one, because Santos was being called out the entire time.
Yeah.
And somehow still managed to get into Congress. This asshole, the few people that were calling him out that could be heard were dismissed or called racist. It's funny how scrutiny of a black guy who's clearly fucking lying is racist. And they're like, how? Because if it was make this guy white and everybody's going to react the same way, except for Cambridge, because they would have kicked him out. But the detractors would have acted the exact same way. Like, this guy's a fucking lying piece of shit who got a job he doesn't deserve, and nobody would call it racist. But because he's black, I saw one person who they went through like, of course this was racist. Nobody cares about this. And the newspaper, I can't remember what newspaper it was, but like they have occasionally shown black people who've done bad stuff before. That was their whole thing to prove it was racist. Like, yeah, but how many stories have they done on white people who fucked up? How many? Oh, I don't really want to talk about that because it takes the whole racist thing and proves it's bullshit.
Yeah. Now, I just looked up, Non Sequitur mentioned it in chat, but this guy was married with 2 kids.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it even worse. Then I have no sympathy for him killing himself. Fuck him.
Yeah, that does change things for me, because fuck him. He destroyed their lives right here.
Yeah.
Like, they were already going to go through some shit, but you're dragging other people down with you like that. That's unacceptable.
That's my mistake. I apologize for saying you had no family, because you never hear them talk about that.
That's the first I'd heard of it. Thank you, Non Sequitur, for that bit of information.
He had a wife and 2 kids.
Yeah, you know what his mom used to do? She was a mental health nurse.
This guy, the left has bred the environment that allowed this to happen.
Oh, absolutely. This guy is a victim of the culture, or the message, I should say. That, you know, that whole leftist nonsense of the lack of merit being thrown around so much. The appointments, the substandard employees.
The one thing that I do give them a little bit of credit on this one, and not much, is that at least this guy looked like he had the credentials.
Yeah, he did have like a doctorate in philosophy.
He went through the motions, but all of the motions were fake.
Yeah, he just stole other people's work, like Martin Luther King Jr. So yeah, apparently he did have a brain tumor at one point and a mini stroke. That's kind of fucked up. That probably wasn't helping.
Was this at the time of his massive marathon run, or back when he was nonverbal?
Both.
Yeah. Now, is it confirmed he had these, or these just things?
No, these are in his book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me if he did have some kind of medical issue. People have that stuff all the time.
Bullshit.
But I'm not believing that it was anything like, somebody might have said they found some like precancerous cells and it boogied into a brain tumor or something. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but I'm gonna need some like medical paperwork for me to believe that.
This dude was a fucking liar who just abused the system that the left put in place. And this is Cambridge, so we're talking about in England, where if you think it's bad here, fuck.
Oh, they're 5 years ahead of us on this shit.
It's insane. All they had to do was check. All they had to do was a little bit of research, and they would have found out that, he's a fucking liar. And instead, they defended him because he's black. And that's the only reason they did it. It's not because he's one of their professors, because if one of their white professors was shown, hey, this guy literally plagiarized this shit, they would immediately look into it. And instead, Cambridge backed this guy up because he's black.
Yeah, his boss at the Faculty of Education in Cambridge said that he was, quote, the best in the world of terms of research that you do.
Yeah.
That should tell you all about their standards over there.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about the research on how to exploit the left, I'll give him that, but not an actual academic research.
Yeah, like if he had been undercover doing like the secular penis thing, that could have been really funny.
Yeah.
But no, unfortunately, this is just somebody working the system and working over these rubes in academia. Here's another quote. An exceptional scholar of race inequality and education. He will contribute significantly to Cambridge's research in this area.
Oh, boy, did he.
Yeah, that's the university's pro-vice chancellor for education. These are not low-level people. I'm quoting higher ups. Like these are major people that make massive decisions. And they're hiring a blatant, obvious liar.
A clown. Let's be honest.
Yeah. He's worse than a circus performer. The Guardian called him a superstar academic, for the record.
Yes, because he's black. It's not like he had anything even groundbreaking in what he did do. It was literally stolen stuff, so it couldn't have been groundbreaking. Like if you
it might have been groundbreaking the first time it was done.
if you did something and then I steal it and take credit for it, you can't say that I broke that ground.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not if you're honest, you can't.
But you mentioned the secular penis, and when I first saw this, I thought that's where this story was going.
That's where I thought it was going
to be like, fuck it, this is the funniest shit ever. Watch how much I can get away with. And all it has done is, and this is pissing me off about the stories around this, because barely anybody is talking about how absolutely insane it is this guy got away with. It's not like he was a nobody in the academic world. Again, he's on television. He's in news articles about this magical black guy who did these things that no black guy could ever do. So it's not like he's some unknown professor. And the academic world went along with all of it.
Yeah, he was backed up by big names in the departments over there. The university stood by him. They said he was the victim of a, quote, vile campaign to undermine his credibility, end quote. And even Sacha Baron Cohen's brother, Simon Cohen, the guy that's actually done real research, he was protecting this guy too.
Thank you. The next 6 minutes. I hope you've been well, man. Left you a present in DMs. Give Phoebe a pat for me. Give everyone my best and have a great weekend. You too, my friend. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
Hey, Six.
And I'll check my DMs after this. The only DM I checked my DMs and I only saw two. One I responded to, and the other one I just told Jag, like, sorry, bro, because I have plans to do a show every day, and I haven't even really been online for like 4 days. Yeah, this exposes yet again how worthless academia is. How absolutely worthless it is. How many times have you guys heard peer-reviewed study?
That means nothing anymore.
I guarantee you this guy had peer-reviewed studies. What did they actually review? Nothing. They're like, oh, black man wrote it. Yep, this is good. And again, that's not always what it is, like black man, because the female thing, which we're going to get into here in a minute, is another part of it. Like the penis thing, most of the writings that they did in there was slanted to whatever the left wants to believe.
Yeah.
And in that case, well, they did both with race and with sex, but the man is bad. And as long as you write man is bad, it doesn't matter what else the study says. You could literally take Mein Kampf and put it in and just change a couple of words, change instead of Jews, be like honkies, and get it published somewhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what they did with some of that shit. They literally just, who was it that did that with Mein Kampf? They took Mein Kampf, they just changed like one word in it. One word repeatedly in it, and got it all. Was it published or almost published in a magazine?
I don't remember. I know the story you're talking about, but I can't remember the specifics right now. But that's way too late in the day for that.
That's what the left wants or will do. As long as you just repeat their bullshit, it doesn't matter how you repeat it. And they'll be like, yes. And for the record, it's not just the left, because I'm watching the right go through this now with the big split that they're having. Tim Pool is upset with Alex Jones because Alex Jones is saying I said things I never said and did things I never did. One of the things that Alex said he did was take money from the Russians, which
you mean
Timmy,
like Tenet made it?
Timmy, you absolutely took money from the Russians, even if you didn't know you were.
Yeah, he worked at Tenet.
But he's like, Alex is saying that I supported the Iran invasion. And he goes, and just yesterday I was talking about how bad it's going. Well, that's not saying you didn't support it, dude. That's saying you don't support it now. But I'm watching this. It's just amazing to me how many people I like Alex Jones for what Alex Jones is. But there's so many people like Alex Jones was right about everything. No, he wasn't. Alex Jones is a dude who pushes insanity. He might occasionally get some shit right, but it's by accident. Alex Jones, like you just said, he's an entertainer. He wants to be bombastic. It's why he talks the way he does. It's why he projects that crazy image, because that gets views on him. But if you're actually looking to him as always right, and then you're shocked when he's like telling your story and it's not exactly, because Alex clearly makes it sound like he purposefully took money from the Russians. What you do there's like
what Alex does.
I didn't mean to take money from the Russians. Yeah, I did, but the way he's putting it is wrong. And these people are like, how dare you? I can't believe Alex has changed so much. Like,
Alex's brand has always been like crazy conspiratorial. That's always been his brand. Of course, he's going to make it sound like you were meeting some guy named Sergey in an empty warehouse somewhere to exchanging briefcases.
Yeah, and it's just funny to me. And I've warned about the Alex Jones thing before, because people, Alex Jones was right about it. No, he's not. He's an insane entertainer. He's a clown. He's a rodeo clown. And that's not to say you can't enjoy him. And no, it's not to say he gets everything wrong. But nobody gets everything right. But then people start holding him up. Same thing they've done with Fuentes and with Tate. And like, get one thing right. Like, see, I told you they were the smartest person in the room.
And that's why we keep telling people, if you don't believe us, fact check us.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're wrong, but we're still going to give our opinion based on what we know.
Just did that earlier in the show. Jason actually had a family.
Yeah. We learned new stuff too, guys. That was crazy.
I should have looked that up before I said it. I was going literally by the reports that I've read where they don't mention his family at all. You would think in a story about a guy who killed himself that might be relevant,
especially when he had kids.
Usually stories are like, he left behind so and so.
Yeah.
And instead, all of the stories are like, black man dead. White man made black man kill himself.
Do we have verification that these people are real?
No.
Because this might be some kind of lie inception thing where even Jason doesn't exist.
All right, let's move on to our second story, which is the Lindsey Clancy thing, which I want to start with this video that I saw from this chick.
Oh, God.
We're not going to watch any of the other the crazy videos on this. This is just a woman explaining to the right how we got here with women. And she's, from my understanding, she seems to be on the right. But she's going to get something incredibly wrong in this whole story.
All of it.
I'll tell you how we got here. It's because over 25% of women in America today have done exactly what Lindsey has done.
They strangled children?
They murdered their children, right?
No. One, I do believe they murdered their children, but they did not do so in the way that Lindsey did. She's trying to compare this to abortion, which I myself have done, but there's a difference in how we do this. One, I do think that the left, because of abortion, have devalued children. But even the left right now is like, no, once they're born, you can't kill them. Unless you're deciding what to do with them as they sit on the table.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But there's an extreme difference between an abortion, which some people consider perfectly okay, and what Lindsey did, where she looked her children in the face as she was strangling them to death. Those are two entirely different things. And I know that on a semantic level, like, yes, they killed their kids, but it's different when you're looking into the face of your child. When it's somebody you've actually physically touched with your own hands versus, they scooped it out of you. Having an abortion should void any voting right. I don't disagree with you there. Where this
murderers don't have voting rights. It's just science.
Where this does overlap with abortion in a major way is the lack of accountability. Because if Lindsey gets away with this, it literally, what can't women get away with because of, my emotions? I had hormonal problems.
I am woman, hear me murder.
I am woman, I didn't mean to. Now, this story has gotten so insane, which is funny because she killed, it's not funny, it's gross. She killed these kids back in early 2023. But it's not until she's actually being held accountable for it that everybody's like, no, she needed to murder those kids. Or even worse, the idiots who are like, her husband did it.
I'm so sick of those people.
I saw one video where a woman claims that her husband had her in a room, had her locked in their bedroom upstairs. That's why she had to jump out of the window head first. Because she was going to try to go save her kids from him.
Yeah. I saw that too.
She's admitted to it. Her defense is that she did it, but it's not her fault. But these fucking crazy bitches online are like, it was totally the guy because I hate men and I had a bad boyfriend once. I've said this before about women, and I do mean it. And men do this some, but not to the extent that women do. Women will identify with each other no matter what they did. We saw this during the #MeToo thing, where that one bitch wrote the thing. I wish I had been raped, and then I realized I had been because a guy looked at me once. And I'm barely paraphrasing what the bitch said.
I wish you were paraphrasing because that's really close to what she said.
It really is. It really is. But this woman so badly wanted to be part of the group. And it's amazing how many times you see this, like with Trump, where it's like, I know Trump's bad because I had a boyfriend who talked to me like that one time and he beat the shit out of me on a daily basis. What?
Did you deserve it? Oh. What were you wearing when it happened?
All of these women who are like, I understand what she did because I felt that way. Did you kill your kids? Because if you didn't, then you shouldn't understand. Because this woman literally murdered her children. And strangulation is not as easy as you might think it is. In movies and stuff, it takes like 2 seconds for you to strangle somebody to death. And no, it actually takes a little bit more. You got to put some force into that shit as they're struggling, trying to get their breath. And this bitch did it. Sure, the baby probably didn't fight back, but the other two were probably very forcefully trying to fight against it.
Yeah, and it would not have been pretty.
I did come up with the perfect punishment for her. All right, hear me out. In an attempt to give her what she wants, she should be thrown out of a second-story window head first once a week until she dies. They say do unto others as how you would have done unto you. And I would want somebody to respect my wishes. So head first out of a second floor window. You know what? Just to make it more fun, a floor and a half, because I want to decrease the chance that she gets it too quickly. Sounds good. Yeah. Let's give this bitch what she wanted. And you know what? One of the things that I keep hearing about this, well, no, it's not about postpartum depression. They couldn't get her drugs right. That's the issue.
Right.
Really? Because they don't get drugs right for a lot of people who don't murder their 3 children before jumping headfirst out of a second floor window. In fact, most of the cases that they point to, like, see, this person killed themselves on that drug. They killed themselves, not tons of other people. Certainly not their own fucking family members, their own. If you don't have kids, this can be hard to understand. But there's a difference between your children and everyone else's children. Like, I'm very protective. Just if I hear, like we've talked about this before, I can't read stories that go into depth about child abuse because it just makes me so fucking angry. If there's a house burning down and my children are in it, and then somebody else's children are in it, you know who's getting saved first if I can save them?
The cat.
My children.
Oh.
There's something in us that makes us just need to take care of our own. And you can see this with a lot of people who are like, I don't even want children. And then they have their children and they become the most doting parent you've ever seen.
Yeah, or they hold somebody's baby and suddenly their biological clock goes crazy.
There's a great episode of Scrubs where Carla can't decide if she wants a kid because she just doesn't feel like she likes children. And she's talking to Dr. Cox, and he said, you know, you see how I love my child, right? He goes, I still hate every other child in the world. And that's what happens is it's your child. This is part of you that you raise and take care of. And even if you're the most protective person of all children, your children come first.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be biological because the species would survive otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. And so that she did this to her own children, I totally get that. Then you're an evil fucking piece of shit I don't want out in the world.
Yeah.
Because all you just told me is you are a danger to everyone around you because you wouldn't even protect your own kids because you get what this bitch did. I totally get it. Fuck you. You're a bad person. I am desperately hoping that Shoe on Head does a video on these because she does the insane reaction kind of videos. And there's been such an insane reaction, including, and I'm not making this up, people who can prove her husband did it because of his astrological chart.
Uh-huh. Right.
What's it? Shoe says astrology is racism for white women. She's wrong because racism is racism for white women. But yeah, there are people on TikTok who are like, what is he, a Gemini, I think it is? Like, and totally a Gemini did it. And he's a Gemini man. And even though he wasn't there, somehow it's his fault because the stars.
Mercury was in retrograde.
Yeah. This one bitch, oh my God, I was so fucking pissed watching this because she's pulling the whole, he did it, right? And she's like, and karma's going to come for him. This is a man whose 3 children were murdered by his wife because she's like, he's going to have a horrible life. Like, yeah, he is.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, absolutely.
But not from anything he did. You know what I mean? I mean, you horrible fucking whore. I hope bad things happen to you. I'm not allowed to say what kind of bad things I hope happen to you because we can get in trouble on YouTube for that. It's called postpartum psychosis. I know. I don't believe in that shit. This is part of my problem with psychology is it tries to explain away every bad behavior as though it's something that they just couldn't overcome. Bullshit. This is just a horrible fucking bitch of a woman. And she killed her 3 kids. And my guess, and I have nothing to base this on, Jack, other than experience as a human, having lived 50 some years. They had some kind of fight or something, and that it was going to be the end eventually, and she knew it was coming, and she decided to punish him. That's my guess.
Yeah, well, that sort of thing has happened before. I mean, you watch enough crime shows, you're going to see a dozen stories like that.
Well, look at the Susan Smith thing. That bitch, she did it because she wanted to date, and she didn't think her date would like kids, so she murdered her children. And there were stories at the time. This is one of the things that that the video we started this with annoyed me with. Like, how did we get this far with women? Because we've excused their bullshit all throughout. In the Susan Smith case, there were stories that were written like, we don't condone what she did, but we understand the notion of a man wouldn't want to be with a woman with kids. But what? Look at the who's the crazy bitch? What the fuck was her name? The one who was fucking her student. And they treated it like a Romeo and Juliet story.
Yeah. Oh shit. Name escapes me now. Chad will tell us.
It's one of the few times that I've cheered for cancer in my life because it took her.
Yeah.
But they treated her. It was an unfortunate incident where they just fell in love. He was 13.
Not Nicole Kidman. Letourneau. Mary Kay Letourneau.
Mary Kay Letourneau. Yes, thank you.
I knew Chat would get it before I could look it up, so I wasn't going to bother.
It doesn't matter what kind of fucked up thing a woman does. If it goes viral, and this predates virality, like back in the day of Mary Kay Letourneau, if it makes it onto the major news stuff, it gets excused by people.
Yep.
And one of the biggest ways that they do it is like, a therapist said. Here's the reality about psychosis and psychology and all that. And look it up. There is no science that has been more proven wrong than psychology. Because some asshole will be like, actually, a woman who kills her kids is suffering from kill your kids syndrome. And then people look into it and go, that was just that one bitch.
Yeah. As somebody who's dated psychologists and been around a lot of them, they're usually working through their own nonsense. So you got to make sure you get one that's not crazy. And good luck.
It should say something that the father of psychology, or the father of psychiatry, psychology, Freud, is considered a complete fraud now. This is how your whole thing starts. Is white women got a book and they're like, oh, this guy says it's not my fault. I just want a penis.
Yeah, look, there are certain types of therapy that can help people, but don't trust some crackpot that runs out on TV because they're running out to get attention for themselves.
No, here's the problem. Is there something called human nature? Sure. Do we all react to it the same way? No. It is so varied that it is scientifically impossible to put it into the kind of boxes they're trying to put it into under the names of psychology. It's just different people react different ways. Yes. And so then to be like, well, this guy has some psychosis because he did X, or hear me out, he's just a fucking asshole.
Well, and you can talk to somebody for a long time and get a feel for their situation and how they're responding and act accordingly to that. But making blanket statements about other people is not particularly effective.
Here's the other really big problem with it is that you're trying to define what is a psychosis based on what is societally accepted. Not based on what necessarily human nature is, but like a kleptomaniac, right? Somebody who gets off on stealing shit. In a society where nobody owns anything, what is kleptomaniacy? Can you have a kleptomaniac in a commune?
Unfair borrowing?
Can you have a kleptomaniac in that kind of situation? Because I don't feel like you can. So if you can't have it there, how is it an actual psychosis?
In that scenario, it wouldn't be.
Because most of what is called a psychosis just means doesn't fit society standards. That's not to say they're good or bad. It's just to say that a lot of it is based on what we accept as a society, like a compulsive liar. What if it's a society where lying isn't considered a bad thing?
Well, that'd be the UK.
Can you have a psychosis that you're forced to lie if everybody does it all the time just because they find it fun?
You're thinking a lot. That's not allowed anymore.
There can be some benefit, especially like this is so many people are going to be pissed off at me. When it comes to psychology, like if you need to go see a psychologist, what you're really paying for is a friend that'll tell you the truth, because that's what psychology helps with, is somebody who you're being told by everybody that it's not your fault, and this guy's like, your behavior is kind of causing this.
Yeah, it's good to get an outside opinion sometimes.
Yeah. And so you're basically paying for a friend. And I don't say that as a bad thing, because a lot of the times your real friends, I'm using air quotes, they're trying to be nice to you. They don't want to upset you. And sometimes you need to be upset. Like the chick who keeps picking up bikers at biker bars is like, he keeps giving me STDs and I don't know why. Maybe it's because you keep picking up the same kind of asshole. Maybe you should go to a church and find a dude.
They like those bad boys, though, Mookie.
I didn't even mean to get off on a psychology rant over this one, but it does piss me off because every bad thing gets explained away. And you even have this with like historical figures now, like Hitler was probably a narcissist, says some chick whose boyfriend cheated on her. No, he was just a fucking shitbag. He was a shitbag who lived in a time, I know we don't feel like it, but 1945 is not really that far removed from the Napoleonic Wars. The idea of taking over all of Europe, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe he wanted to do that. Really? Do you know who Napoleon is?
It's not like the first time.
Yeah, it's not like the leadership of these kind of countries never had done this before. I mean, Alexander the Great is literally known for conquering the entire known world at the time.
Yeah.
That's why we know who he is.
Plus Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
The Romans. There's been a lot of groups that have wanted to conquer the world.
It's just kind of insane to me that everything is chalked up to, he's there. It's just some kind of mental problem. Is it, or is it just you don't like how he behaved and he's an asshole? Because a lot of the times, I'm just going to tell you, he's an asshole. Like all of these women, like, I just keep dating narcissists. No, you're attracted to assholes. That's just, you that's the kind of guy you go for. Maybe you should change that shit up.
Maybe you should, learn from your mistakes.
But this is why psychology works on women, is because it tells women it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You have postpartum issues. Literally billions of women have had children without killing them. Or my favorite is that I think it was in the Pegasus video today. The women who are throwing ice in the bathroom to get over their postpartum depression.
Yeah, it's become a weird thing. I saw a bunch of those videos.
Yeah, like oh, look at that. You didn't even need pills for that. All you had to do is find some way to get some rage out.
You just had to set up a camera for attention. You lunatics.
I do believe that raging out a little bit can be cathartic, but if you do it if you're a guy listening to me right now, get yourself a punching bag. And when you get annoyed, go take it out on the punching bag and you will feel better. Not because beating something up makes you feel better. You can do the same thing by running or doing push-ups or anything physical, because your body kicks in endorphins.
Yeah, and you're getting You're getting that dopamine rush. You're getting the endorphin rush. You're getting exercise, so you're burning off the excess that you have that was pent up in your system. There's a lot of reasons for that. When I was working with kids, we used to tell them, we had somebody on staff constantly saying, you should punch a pillow. And I was like, no, we don't tell children that, because they start to associate the act of hitting with being angry. And that's not healthy for children. You can say that to an adult because they can process the difference. But with kids, you can't do that. And apparently with women, you can't do that either, because they might strangle their children.
Now, the one thing I do blame the husband for in this is marrying a Picasso painting.
Yeah, she does have that kind of like cubist look, or abstract.
Why is her nose so long?
It's because she's got a really big area between the bridge of her nose and the top of her forehead. I don't know. There's a lot going on there, dude. That's a study in physiognomy. That
there's literally a Picasso painting that looks like this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she definitely is an impressionist piece of work during God's impressionist era.
Yes. No, I just, any of the people out there, they're like, postpartum. I'm not even saying that you don't get a little down, and I don't think it necessarily has as much to do with having the baby as it has to do with the responsibility that comes from having the baby. Like, you don't get a moment to yourself. There's excessive tiredness. That's not postpartum. I mean, that's just, try to go 3 days without sleeping and see how you feel. Go ahead, try it right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of work taking care of young children.
Yeah, so I'm not saying there's no feelings about that. I'm just saying it's not a psychosis that kicks in. It's a problem. I'm not saying there's no psychosis before anybody. I had it. Of course you did. But a lot of it is just like, you need more sleep. You suddenly have more responsibility. In this lady's case, she had 2 kids and you had a third in. Adding a third child is trust me, it's not the same as just having 2. Just like having 2 is not the same as having 1.
Yeah. It's a lot more work.
I don't take much advice, never did, from somebody who had a kid. Like, I am the perfect parent. Like, you have 1 kid. You've never had the 2 of them feeding off of each other.
Yeah, or the circle of violence that ensues.
Yeah.
Just like the fact they keep exchanging illnesses.
Just like if all you have is girls, you really shouldn't be giving any parenting advice to somebody who only has boys.
Yeah.
Because they're entirely different creatures.
Oh, absolutely.
And the amount of difference is noticeable. There was a big difference in raising my daughter than raising my 2 sons. Like, my wife never looked at me and went, what's wrong with her? Talking about my daughter because she was doing something. She has said that repeatedly to me about my sons, especially when they were little. Like, why is he doing that? Like, struck him funny, so he's doing it. That's how boys are.
Yeah.
That's why when you women look at us and like, what are you thinking? Like, we're men. We're probably not.
We're thinking we don't want to have this conversation because it's pointless.
I tried explaining this to my wife, is that a lot of the times when I'm like just sitting there, there's nothing on my mind. I mean, maybe I'm watching TV, maybe I'm just zoning out, but yes, I do think constantly, but there is a lot of time where I'm just existing and I'm just happy to exist. Like, I like to go outside and just sit outside in the sun. Weirdo. And sure, my mind is churning as I'm doing it, but I'm not really thinking of anything. I'm not planning my day. I'm not thinking about all the things that need to be fixed. I'm not trying to solve the world's problems. I'm just like, that tree's kind of shaped like a dick. And that's as deep as my thought gets. But to my wife, who is one of these people who constantly has to be trying to fix something, that's an entirely foreign concept to her. If women were given a look into men's minds, you could actually come into our minds for a second. You would diagnose all of us with some kind of syndrome
or psychopathy.
Yeah. Like, oh, he's weird. He's thinking about boobies again. Like, I mean, it's not really my fault.
It was so weird. He was thinking about cheeseburgers and then Roman phalanxes, and I don't understand why. He was comparing the Macedonian equipment to the Romans. It was very strange. And then suddenly he was thinking about women in bikinis. It was just completely random.
Yeah, it's the way the male mind works is not the same as the female mind. It's just they're different. That's not to say that there's not overlap, because we never speak in generalities. But we do. We're just different, and that's fine. All right. I don't want to talk about this ignorant bitch anymore.
She murdered her kids. She's not worth the time of day. She should be executed, and all these crackpots need to go away.
She should not be executed. She should be thrown out a window repeatedly until she gets what she wants.
Fair. It's not an execution. It's an assisted suicide. Also, Candace Owens is jumping on the train of Lindsey's innocent.
Of course she is. Did a psychic tell her?
No, but see, I think that Candace Owens killed those kids because Charlie Kirk came to me in a dream.
Oh,
and that's evidence now.
You know what? He came to me in a dream too. I forgot until just now. He told me that she did it because the Jews paid her.
Yeah, she's actually. It wouldn't surprise me if she was actually an agent of the Mossad. That would actually explain quite a bit. But yeah, Charlie Kirk dream visits that's just scientifically founded and unassailable. So, yep. Thank you, Charlie, for the revelation. It is much appreciated, and I will pass it along to the authorities.
I do want to point out that Frank Beard died. He was the drummer for ZZ Top.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
He passed away the other day, which is fucking sad. I love ZZ Top. Give Me All Your Lovin' comes on, and I don't even mean to. I find myself singing.
Sharp Dressed Man. They had a lot of good tunes, man.
Great anthems, yeah, absolutely. But
yeah,
R.I.P. man. Thanks.
80s band.
Thanks for the memories, man. For those of you who don't know but have heard of ZZ Top, he's the one without the beard. He was the drummer. This story is another one that we would have talked about the other day if I, had any kind of decent work ethic. Zohran Mamdani, they're giving out tickets to Broadway to a bunch of school kids, right? And he does this video in Mandarin to promote it, and he claims that it's AI, or somebody claimed it was AI. I don't know. People are claiming it was AI because suddenly he speaks Mandarin and does so very well. And this was the controversy. It's like, some people are saying this is AI. These are school kids in New York. They're not sending these to like Beijing. And my question was, I don't give a shit if it's AI. Why are they promoting tickets that are given to United States school children in Mandarin?
He's letting his commie overlords know what he's doing.
I'm not wrong that that's weird, right? If you're trying to reach out to give these tickets to New York City school kids, maybe English is the way to go. I might even be able to give you some credit because you did it in Spanish, but Mandarin? Do you have a high contingency of non-English speaking, Mandarin speaking children in your schools?
Maybe.
Because if you do, you might want to get them into English classes. You know what I mean? Unless they were for the excelled class taking Mandarin as a second language. Well, maybe. But then it's their second language, so probably English is the easier way to do that. I'm so tired of seeing our politicians speaking in other languages other than English.
I know.
It is past time to make English the national language. Just be done with it. And if you want to speak in another language, You want to pander to the Spanish speakers or the French? How come nobody ever does it in French?
Because France is well, they suck.
Nobody does it in German. Nobody does it in whatever Eskimos speak. It's always Spanish and now apparently Mandarin. And no thanks. It's enough of that shit. There was another topic I wanted to discuss, and I don't remember what it is, and I'm having to go through my YouTube timeline to see if I can find what it was that pissed me off.
Was it the lady that got arrested for wanting to plant a bomb at the New York State Capitol?
No, it was about manhood, and I don't remember exactly what it was about manhood, but it was a video that pissed me off. Oh. But what were you just talking about? Oh, there it is.
Some lady got arrested for, and you should see this, wildebeest. She's huge. She apparently dedicated herself to ISIS after converting to Islam, and she was planning to explode a bomb at the New York State Capitol so she could get the lawmakers. And then she was going to try and put one at the White House and a few other places. But she was going to hide the bomb in a DoorDash bag for the New York State Capitol one.
Huh.
It's been kind of a quiet story. I'll drop a link to a video on it if anybody wants to watch it. But it hasn't been blown up as much as I would have thought it would.
Well,
figuratively.
What? I this is going to sound rude, but I don't mean it that way. What is the significance there? Like, why would it be talked about?
Just the usual terrorism scaremongering. You know, I just thought it would be a bigger story than it is.
Okay, I get it from that perspective. The problem with why it's not is because there's nothing to gain in the news from that. And I don't mean to be so cynical about our news media because I have nothing but respect for them. But an ISIS supporter who's going to try to blow shit up is like, yeah. You know what I mean?
It's just a little weird that it was here stateside and it was a convert instead of like an illegal that came over. That's what you would expect.
I get what you're saying about like this, that it should be a massive story. Absolutely. But there's nothing to gain. There's no one to blame it on. There is plenty enough in this news cycle that they don't have to hype something else. And I'm not saying, this is why I said it's going to sound rude, but I didn't mean it rude at all. But there does have to be some hook for something to become news these days.
Yeah.
Where this should be like, hey, Islamic terror is coming. And we also know that it's not just that of course they're going to blow it up. You also have to remember that we're in a society right now where the news media is almost on the blame all Jews thing. And they've been protecting Muslims for what? We're on 25 years now?
Yeah.
It'll be 25 years in 20 days?
Yeah.
That they've been running interference for these people that want to kill us.
Yeah, it's just depressing. I assumed it was because she was fat and hideous. So,
oh God, no, that would just make her more for the story for them. There's something else to talk about. Is it the white man looks down on her because she's fat?
Yeah, fat privilege, man. Sick of it.
That's why I was confused by your confusion over it not getting more stuff. Because to me, it's like, of course, that's not going to get much attention.
Yeah. I would guess it's more not necessarily confusion, just annoyance. Like rhetorical. Why isn't this a bigger story? Because it should be. This is stuff that I worry about, and I think everybody else should be a little more concerned about Islamic terror, considering the spread of Islam and the shenanigans going on in like places like Texas, Virginia, Minneapolis, and things like that. Dearborn, especially. And how they seem to be getting footholds in our government. That I think is very concerning and should be, but nobody seems to want to have an honest conversation. And when anybody does try, they get shut down.
Well, I just want to point out that you're being highly Islamophobic, and I'm not on board with that.
I'm okay with it. If you need to fire me, I'll understand.
I'm saying that for the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, no, I get it. That was all a skit that we were doing Saturday Night Live style. It was a joke.
AP, thanks for the raid, my friend. Hi, guys. Hope you guys are well. That's over on the Rumble, guys. We are always live on Rumble if anybody has issues with YouTube.
Damn, that's a huge group, too. Thanks, AP.
Yeah, thank you for bringing them over. Right in time for me to talk about Superman.
Oh, Christ.
No, it's not what you think.
Okay.
Well, maybe. So I'm watching Screen Crush, and I don't know why I do this to myself. I hate Screen Crush.
Yeah, I hate them too.
I was actually watching one of their videos, and the dude with the beard that does this. Well, I guess they both have them. The one who's in front of like a Blockbuster video setup. He's talking, and he actually says he mentions Ironheart, and he goes, "A severely underrated show."
Okay, like, Chief.
I enjoy like when they do their breakdowns of things that are in movies, trailers, or things like that. That's why I watch them. And then my dumbass always clicks on something where they're trying to be insightful, and it's always the same shit of them just glazing whatever Hollywood has done lately. Like they actually think that She-Hulk was a decent enough show. I'm like, what? I mean, okay. But this video is titled "Why Bad Superman Never Works" or something like that. And I think that's an actual good concept. Why a character like Superman, when you try to turn him into the Dark Knight, which they've tried repeatedly to do, even in other things where in this video, they point out like Homelander and, oh God, what's the guy from Invincible? Whatever that guy's name is, where they have these villain arcs where it's a Superman character, but he turns out to be bad. And he points out that the reason that it never works with Superman is because of Clark Kent. Clark Kent is the human side of Superman, even though he's not human, but he wants to fit in with society. He wants to take care of people. He's a good guy. And when you try to take that away, then you're left with just this empty vessel of a character.
Mm-hmm.
All of which I agree with. Now, the part where I have a problem with this video and why we're talking about it is he brings up a concept I've heard many times, and you've heard it too, with like absolute power corrupts absolutely. And he says in here that people just think that, hey, if I had all that power, that's how I would behave. And that is something that is repeated by psychology. It's repeated in newspapers. It's repeated anytime somebody with power does something bad. But the reality of the world is we have a lot of chances every day to be shittier people than we are. And we don't take it, no matter how much power we have. And so the reason that Superman is a beacon of hope and goodness. And when you try to turn that into, well, other people would act badly, because nobody, when they say that, like, that's how no, you're not really saying that, because you could be a shittier, you could steal from from people around you and get away with it. There's tons of opportunity to just nick something. I know, because I do it, and then I give it back and let people know I did it. I just like to test boundaries. I never steal anything and keep it, just saying. But I like to see how much I can get away with before people notice. And it's amazing how little people notice. The idea that if people got all this power, they would absolutely be bad, lets us think that when people do bad things, it's not really their fault. It's the power corrupted them.
Yeah.
Did it, or was that guy just a shitbag? It kind of goes back to Lindsey. Like, did she do it because of some psychosis, or is she just a horrible fucking human being?
I think they explain this very well in the Captain America origin, because the super soldier serum didn't make him into Captain America. He was already that person. It just accentuated all his goodness. That's why it didn't work on the Red Skull. and numerous other people because they weren't good people. It just accentuated what they already were.
Yeah,
and Superman is always called the Boy Scout because he is an idealist. You know, he wants better things for people. He wants to help people. Some people, you know, if you're raised that way or you're born that way, whatever, some people are just good people. And it's hard to corrupt that.
Black Romeo says power doesn't corrupt, it enables. And I agree with that. I feel about power the same way I feel about alcohol. Because lots of people like, oh, alcohol made me do it. No. I've never seen anybody who did something completely out of character on alcohol. It just
it brings out
amplifies
who you are. Yeah, it lowers your inhibitions and
lowering your inhibition. So like maybe in your everyday life you wouldn't actually grab that chick's ass, but you were thinking about it. You're still that asshole. You just suddenly your inhibitions are gone because you're drinking alcohol. It's not like alcohol gives you thoughts you never had before or that are complete. Like some dude, like he got drunk and jumped out of a window. Like he did that sober 3 weeks ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that dude's a retard.
Yeah.
He was a retard beforehand.
Talking about my problem, alcohol.
It is both the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
I hate this notion of that we would all turn into evil Superman if we had Superman's powers. Like
unless you were already inclined to do that.
Exactly. But the whole notion is just that the human race sucks. And the only thing stopping us from being suckier is we don't have the power to do that. It's such a negative message to put out there because actually most people are way kinder than we give each other credit for. This is why when you see experiments that they do where like they'll have a camera following somebody who drops a $20 bill to see who gives it back. Almost universally, everybody stops the guy and, hey, you dropped $20. I think I've seen one where somebody kept it, but that's $20 you'd have got away with. And most people are like, now here you go, bro. Because that's what humanity really is. It's not people who are killing their kids because they just had a baby and you just feel like you got to kill. No, because that doesn't happen. The reason the Lindsey Clancy case is in the news is because it's rare. The idea of a mother offing all of her children, it's a very rare thing. Because most of us, even like, oh, why? You want to talk about a superpower? The female hormone bullshit. Oh, she's hormonal. You got to excuse her for that.
Ugh.
And this is another reason that I attribute all this shit to women. Because evil Superman is just a woman on her period. You know what's funny to me about this whole Lindsey thing? Sorry, guys. I know I said I was done talking about her, but it's amazing how all these women are like, hormones made her did it. But if some woman is acting irrationally and you go, are you on your period? She will fucking lose her shit. How dare you ever suggest that hormones have anything to do with why I'm mad at you? Yeah, it's probably not right.
Yeah, totally not. Ooh.
Yeah, it didn't make you freak out because I, loaded the dishes wrong. But it's totally responsible for the bitch who killed 3 kids and tried killing herself by not understanding geography or geometry and jumping out of a 2nd-story window. Which, by the way, we really do need to teach women, better geometry. Because if this bitch just had a little more scientific knowledge, a little more math in her, she would have gone to the roof and probably would have taken care of the problem, and we wouldn't have to have this conversation.
Well, that just shows no pride in the workplace anymore.
I'm telling you. Then she breaks into tears. Yeah, look, I do believe hormones. The whole nonsense about psychosis, I don't believe most of that shit. But when it comes to hormones, absolutely. Women break down easily when they're hormonal. But don't bring it up unless they've killed their kids, because then suddenly it's relevant. How are you going to tell me you understand how that woman feels, but then get mad when I ask you if you're on your period because you're acting irrationally? I don't understand.
There's a reason I'm single, and it's questions like that.
But yeah, the whole evil Superman thing, I don't disagree with most of what he says. Superman will never work as an evil character because it's antithetical to the character.
Well, and it also creates a lot of storytelling challenges that are difficult to overcome because you have that godlike character, and you're telling me that nobody tried to made an even remotely successful assassination attempt on him.
Right.
Because
yeah.
Superman does have weaknesses. And just because he is very powerful doesn't mean he can't be brought down. So you're telling me nobody managed to take that guy out, because that would be a now global effort to take out somebody that powerful that went rogue.
But it does allow people to sit back and imagine that somebody like Elon Musk is a supervillain. Because of course you would be if you had that kind of power and money.
Now, a corrupt business guy, yeah, that's been done before, but that doesn't mean that he's a bad guy. They just hate people that have more than them. It's envy. It's poorly dressed envy.
Red Sun or Injustice Gods Among Us. In this, he talks about all different kinds of Superman. Again, even non-Superman characters who are clearly knockoffs of Superman, where they make him a bad person. He does talk about Injustice in this. He also talks about a couple of other storylines that went on, and the movies where they tried to make him kind of bad.
Yeah, well, even Injustice kind of fucked it up because by the end of the first storyline, Superman would have been dead.
Yeah.
And how he went off the rails is like they try and say that this is the bad writer's crutch. Whenever they want to turn a good guy evil, they have them be mentally fragile because they think that heroes are idiots who are incredibly weak-minded. So they think it's really easy to turn somebody that's incredibly like a beacon of goodness into pure evil. And that's not exactly the case. Somebody like Batman could go over the edge and kill people. Doesn't mean he's going to kill everybody. But he could be driven to kill because he has so much like horrible shit in his background. You know, he lost not just his parents, but a sidekick died and all this other stuff. So somebody like that could be driven to kill at some point, realistically. They're never going to do it in the books, obviously. But somebody like that could kill people.
Real quick, I'm going to get this and then I'll address what you said. Monkey, I dare you to say that to Steroid Mama in the gym. And headline will be man killed by dumbbell crammed rectally. I don't know who Steroid Mama is, but even in my weakened state, I'm pretty sure I could knock her over if it's a chick. And what was it I need to say to Sewer? As for this, for those of you who don't know, in this Injustice storyline, the Joker kills Lois and Superman's kid, so he kills the Joker. And this leads to his dark arc where he's going to take care of everything and make the world perfectly safe by being a dictator, basically.
Yeah.
The problem with that is killing the Joker in that instance isn't wrong.
No, it wouldn't be enough to make him take over the world.
Killing the Joker. Razorfist actually has a great video on this, on why they never kill the Joker. If somebody deserves to die in the superhero universe, it's the Joker.
Yeah.
Killing him wouldn't be murder. It would be saving the rest of the world from further harm.
Well, that's something that a lot of writers and leftists in general, because most writers are leftists, don't understand the difference between killing and murder.
Yes.
They conflate the two, and they are not the same thing. There are justifiable reasons to kill somebody. Self-defense being the obvious one. Defense of others. If somebody is trying to kill you, you are absolutely permitted to take them out of society. It's not exactly new law. We're not treading new ground with this idea. Real quick, though, I got to grab a couple things here. They're getting kind of past me here. Thank you, God Ready. Fuck YouTube just took 2 $10 donations without sending the chat. I'm sorry, dude. It's funny how we say men are from Mars, women are from Venus. One we might make Love Again. The other is a place where that will crush you. Yeah. Well, I also hate those books, by the way. Thank you, God Randy. And thank you, Evolved Potato. Closest thing to an evil Superman that kind of worked was the DC movie Gods and Monsters, where he definitely wasn't evil, but he wasn't the Boy Scout he normally is. Like, he's fine with killing criminals, but not innocents. Yeah, that's a bit more realistic.
For the record, somebody pointed out how Joker kills them, and yes, he actually has Superman do it. I get that. Not getting deep into the woods on the story. Sorry for anybody who was like, he didn't say it right. You're right. I simplified. But the problem isn't just that he kills the Joker. It's how he then goes on this rampage where everybody basically has to do what he says. And I'm simplifying it. Just go look up something that talks about the Injustice storyline. But there's a whole difference from I killed the man who's responsible for my wife and child's death, and now the whole world has to do what I say. And this is kind of why I have that problem with his conclusion there, is that people just, that's how I would react. I'm with you up to killing the Joker. I'd absolutely kill him, but then be like, now the world has to listen to me. No, I wouldn't. That's not something I relate to. And that's the part that keeps getting pushed into people's heads, is that we're all bastards. We're not. And I hate this. Sounds real hippie for me, but we're not. We're mostly good people in the Western world. I'm not talking about stoning a chick because she got raped, but only 3 people saw it.
Yeah,
we're generally decent people who want to help others and not cause any suffering, and not just not cause suffering, but alleviate suffering. But the whole notion of we're actually just shitbags restrained by our lack of power. Fuck off. Maybe you are, Mr. Writer Man, but I'm not.
Yeah, it's an incredibly cynical take on the characters.
Well, not just on the characters, on humanity.
Yeah. Well, that Superman is supposed to be somebody that inspires people to be better than they are, to go further, do more. And I never liked those like turning heroes into villain stories, which is the lazy deconstruction shit that we see all the time now. I hate it. I think it's pathetic, and it shows what a terrible writer you are. Mm-hmm. It's also my problem with that Lanterns show.
Oh, I haven't watched that. I did watch I watched Critical Drinkers breakdown of the first episode. That looks like trash, bro.
It's so much worse than what Critical Drinkers said. I saw the first episode and I watched Disparew's video, and he pretty well nails it.
Yeah, I'll probably watch Disparew while I'm playing video games later.
If you like Hal Jordan at all or Jon Stewart, don't watch that show, because it is a cynical, selfish, degenerate take on those characters.
He means Jon Stewart, the comic book character who's a Green Lantern, not Jon Stewart from Daily Show, just for the record there.
Yes, the real Jon Stewart, the one from the Green Lantern.
The real Jon Stewart from the comic book.
Yeah, I consider him more of a person than Jon Stewart from the Daily Show, because
that just struck me funny, the real Jon Stewart. I'm interested to see it in the way that I'm interested in watching train wrecks.
Yeah, it made me mad, dude. I have to say, because everybody is a cliche, and they are the worst type of people. Everybody's an unlikable asshole. Jon Stewart is rigid. They got a good actor to play him, and he does a terrible job. He is so unlikable in that show. His entire thing is basically to look angry and try and intimidate people. He's a walking stereotype of the angry black man. And he's hard-headed, doesn't want to listen to anything, thinks he knows better and more than the veteran that's been doing it for a while. Everything is contradictory throughout the episodes, so don't get too attached to anything. And Hal Jordan's an unlikable drunk. You got the girl boss sheriff. It's everything wrong with movies and shows for the last 10 years. Kind of ham-fisted into one episode. It was insultingly bad, and it's clearly not written by people that like superheroes. And I didn't know this until I saw Disprove's episode. But the creative team didn't like the name Green Lantern because they thought it was stupid. That's why the word green is in there. Also, his costume looks retarded.
Over on Rumble, it was said Superman is not human. He's not human, but Superman's original tagline, truth, justice, the American way, it's all he's trying to fit in with humans, and part of that is God ready. Thank you. News today, female was stoned to death after rape when 3 men came forward saying there was no rape. More at 5. True. That's the Muslim world. You only had 3 witnesses. You know what? How fucked up my brain is, because I just thought that means if somebody's raping a woman and there's 3 guys standing around watching and another guy's walking by, he's like, I better not look. Because I don't have to testify. I hate this world some days. No, the Lantern show itself, the fact that they took green off of it and that DC approved that just tells you why all their movies suck.
Yeah, like I just said to Frost in chat, that they have terrible creative teams working on these IPs. These characters, Hal Jordan has been around since the 60s. He is a very well-loved character, and they shit all over his legacy in that show.
I haven't watched the new Superman movie. I've seen every other Superman movie, but I haven't watched the new one. And it's not because of most of the complaints people might have for it. It's that I know how the first fight, or I know how the fight with the robot happens. And it's that Lex Luthor tells people to put in moves to fight Superman, and it works. A character who's faster than a speeding bullet. This guy is giving directions verbally to enter into a computer to respond to him moving faster than a speeding bullet. It was at that point where I was like, what? That makes no goddamn sense. I know they're trying to make Lex Luthor, Elon Musk, look like this really smart dude who figured out how to. By the time he got his first input in, that robot would have had its ass whipped.
Yep.
Like, are you writing Superman or some new character who's like in a turn-based strategy game? It makes zero sense. These people either don't know or don't care about the characters they're writing for, and it ends up showing up. There's no way to get around that. It's one thing we saw this in a lot of the early video game movies, the ones by Uwe Boll and all of those, where it's like, you threw the name of whatever movie it is on there, and you gave some lip service to whatever the origin story is, and then you didn't give a shit the rest of the way. You just wanted another story to tell, and you knew your shit wouldn't get any kind of attention without this name on it. Like, nobody's watching Supergirl if it's not called Supergirl. Nobody watched it with that name on there.
Yeah, that's true.
But if it had been called Munchie Chi the movie, well, no, that's a recognizable brand to some of us. Ugly Bitch Fights in Space. Nobody's watching that. Well, you would, because you probably own that on video.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
But you're not.
I'm not denying that.
See, I keep saying these formal statements, and I realize who I'm talking to. This is Jack, who owns movies. He's probably got people's high school AV projects on video somewhere.
Yeah, I do own Snow Shark.
But if you just take off the Supergirl name, it does not get the attention that it got. And so they have to cram this in there and be like, no, this is Supergirl, the slutty chick who doesn't help anybody. And Supergirl was literally just Superman with a vag when she first comes out. She's female Superman. That's what she was. And watching the Screen Crush thing on this, like, I'm glad they didn't just make her Superman with a badge. Like, why? Do you not like the character? Because that's what the character is, dumbass.
Right?
Ugh, I hate this shit. Just make your other shitty things so you don't have to ruin the continuity of what's going on.
Too many people don't understand. A lot of it comes down to the commie philosophy of there is no such thing as evil. It's all the moral relativistic commune bullshit. But they don't know how to write good versus evil because they don't believe in it. They also don't know how to write a hero because they don't study previous work. They think it's all silly. And that stuff still sells because not everybody's in your little brainwash cult. So you have untrained people or ideologues doing these projects and greenlighting them just for the sake of changing them or destroying them. I'm not sure which, sometimes both.
I watched a video essay the other day about how red letter media has lost its way. I forget the exact name of it. And I don't like red letter media. I know for some people they're like the gold standard, scribbles. But especially as it's gone on longer and longer, they put up with way more bullshit than I do in my things. They excuse way more shit than they should.
Well, aren't they getting like Disney money?
I don't know if they are or not, but I wouldn't be shocked. But this one was talking about how the original video that kicks it all off is the Phantom Menace, and it's this essay about how the Phantom Menace sucked and how his criticism of Star Wars is eventually that, well, what you should do is get J.J. Abrams in here, and then they got J.J. Abrams in, and it didn't work, and he's like, see, this proves that he just didn't know what he was talking about. Or, and hear me out, maybe he saw what Abrams was doing at the time and thought that might be helpful, but they still gave him shit to work with, so it turned out to be shit. But it was funny. I realized very early on that I'm listening to a commie, and then he actually starts to quote Marx repeatedly. And like, fuck. Yeah. In a movie review or in a review of somebody who reviews movies. And
that's fucking weird, man.
Dude repeatedly is quoting Marx because the real problem you see with Star Wars, late stage capitalism.
Oh my God. My nephew dropped that phrase a while back and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's amazing how this has seeped into the culture.
Well, if you repeat something long enough, people just say it.
I guess.
Late stage capitalism.
Fuck off.
Again, capitalism itself is one of those things. The concept even isn't that old. The notion of capitalism, even at the time of Marx, is a fairly new thing. Because you go, unless you're trying to apply it to like it would be used in feudalism, which is still kind of bartering. There's no real capital you're using. You have to be very retarded to turn capitalism into more than a couple of centuries old.
Yeah.
And the only failure of capitalism we've seen is when like Cuba gets taken over by communists. And it wasn't a failure of capitalism at that point. It was the violent commies took over and ruined everything. It's amazing when you look at Cuba that it freezes in place in the 1950s, which means in the 1950s, it was up to date. Like they had 1950s cars in there.
Yeah, well, they were doing fairly well before the revolution.
Yeah, and then you look at it now and they still have 1950s cars. You know, because communism is great. There's no example of late stage capitalism other than these people going, it's late stage capitalism. Well, how would you know? There's no example. It's just what they've determined these things are. Because I saw a great argument the other day over government healthcare. And Politibunny, she asked somebody, you want the government controlling your healthcare? And this other guy shot back, you want private corporations dictating your healthcare? Like, well, with a private company, I can go to a different private company. If the government's controlling my healthcare, who do I get a second opinion from?
Made.
Yeah, no shit. Like, good luck. Modern the problem with modern capitalism is the infection of socialism. Yeah, it's true, because even before we get our social safety network here in America, right, which comes about because of the Great Depression and all that, it's not like people had no resources. Believe it or not, a lot of people survived the Great Depression. A lot of people survived the Dust Bowl. A lot of people survived a whole bunch of shit where they're like, we got to have all these programs for it. This goes back to what I was saying about people, because people are good and helped each other out. Was your family living off a potato a day? Sure, but you survived. And they're like, no, we gotta have all this government shit. Government does not make anything better. Maybe if you're lucky, they keep invaders out. But how many governments have fallen to foreign invaders? They don't even do that well.
No, because they get bureaucracy. The government's job is to expand. It's sort of like cancer. Its job is to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more in depth, because that's how they keep their jobs.
And before we get reported to the FBI, I'm not anti-government. I do believe that there's some things that we have to try our best to do through government, like security, Jack. But if I'm just being honest, they're not that great at it. They're good, I guess, at seizing power. They do that pretty well.
Yeah, I think Evil One's right. Everything would run like the DMV.
Yeah.
You'll be dealing with a bunch of bureaucrats that hate their jobs and don't give a shit about you because they know they can't get fired.
You know what's really funny about the healthcare part of this? There's a lot of people like, healthcare is too expensive. We need government to take it over. Do you know what the largest increase in cost to the American people, where it comes from in the medical field? It's Obamacare, when the government got involved. Suddenly premiums shot up 100, 200, 500, 1,000%.
Yep.
And they're like, but we need the government to come in and make it cheaper. No, you mean you need the government to come in and make somebody else pay for it. That's what you actually. Because it didn't get cheaper at all. Not even the government run healthcare thing. The what do they call them? The marketplaces and that.
Yeah. Those
didn't even get cheap. Those were expensive as fuck.
Yeah, and they still are. They've gotten worse.
Like I saw one guy. Actually, most people pay for their insurance through their employer, and it becomes the biggest tax of any taxes. Like, no, it's not a tax. Most people can opt out. I don't know of any business that requires you to have their health insurance. Can you opt out of your taxes, Jack? Because I can't opt out of mine.
No, the government frowns on such activity, and they will come looking for you.
We had to pay our taxes the other day, and so we go into town and pay the lady. And it's the lady who fucked us over last time, where she had our money, but she put it in the wrong account, and then she was like, I don't know how to get it back. And so Lady Monkey dealt with her while I just sat there staring at her evil. My wife is way more forgiving than I am. Yeah, fucking bitch. But yeah, I can't opt out of my taxes. You can opt out of your health insurance. You absolutely can.
Yeah.
So calling it a tax is retarded. But the whole notion of it's so expensive. Well, why is it so expensive? It's because the government got involved.
Yeah, and they had to put more bureaucrats in there to make things more efficient.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up, guys. I'm getting tired again. You think I can sleep for another 9 hours?
I think you should take up the challenge.
That new mattress, man, it just sucks me right in.
It's like a big old hug, huh?
No, it's not. It's very firm. It almost. This is a true thing. So we get the mattress, and I go to sleep before Lady Monkey, and then she goes to bed, and I wake up. So we don't see each other until the next morning. And I'm having all these thoughts about how I slept and these things. Like when I laid in bed, I realized I couldn't see the TV the way I used to. And when Lady Monkey's laying in bed, she realized that because she always plays on her phone before she goes to sleep, she was having to hold the phone different. And we both realized the reason we're doing this is because the bed was so bad that it actually tilted our heads up. It's like laying in a hammock. And now it's like laying on the ground. So it's soft a little bit, but what I really needed was that firmness so that I'm not bending and twisting in all kinds of fucked up manners.
Yeah, I get it. I love my mattress. It's like sleeping on a cloud. It's amazing.
Monkey never had an injury, just a bad mattress. No, you know, the worst part of this is anytime I get like some kind of injury or sickness or anything, the only saving grace to it is that my underlying illness becomes much less of an issue in my mind. But now that my hips aren't hurting, my back is on fire and has been for like a week. My back just will not stop rumbling. It's see, your mind gets numb to the things you're going through on a constant basis. But no, I am much more productive and much more able to move around. It's just now I got to deal with this nose thing. I think I'm eventually going to have to go to a doctor for that. But
I've been telling you to go to a doctor for like 2 months now.
You're not my real mom.
I know.
I'm a man, dude. I don't go to the doctor unless I'm dying or my nuts hurt. So other than those two things, I'm fine.
If the infection gets that far down, you're in big trouble.
I'll just walk it off until then.
Yeah, just drink water and take a nap.
On the garden front, I haven't given an update on this. My plants look amazing, but they're not getting enough sun to actually turn the fruit the color that, like the tomatoes, they're just green. So I'm gonna have to get a box and put an apple in with them. That happens. But Miss Phoebe loves to come out and go gardening with me.
Aw.
She comes and sniffs all the plants to make sure they're still the same. I'm guessing that's what she's doing because she sniffs the same ones every time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Talking to him.
But yeah, that's the show for today, guys. Thanks for coming and joining us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind. Jack, anything you want to pill? What? I don't even know what I was trying to say there.
You got me.
Pill does rhyme with shill. So anything you'd like to shill?
I'll drop some links in chat. As always, thank you guys for the tips, all the support you give us and coming out. Thanks to AP for raiding and everybody that came over with the raid to watch the show. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate all of you watching. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, no long outro. Thanks for watching, guys. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Take care of yourselves, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Jack. There you go. Jack, you ever get the pea shivers?
Yeah, occasionally.
I've heard women don't get that.
Well, they store it differently. It's more of a direct, like, we have a longer urethra because we have penises.
I don't think it's just that. See, I have a theory. It's because it has to go through our penis, and that's where all of the nerve endings are, where the urethra on the chick skips all of those parts.
Oh, yeah.
Like if it came out of their clit, then they would understand what a pea shiver is.
The toilets would be designed so much weirder if it came out of their clit.
The what now? Nothing.